Hi, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Flock Talk. I'm Robin Sullivan of the Leather Elves, and I want to welcome you here to almost spring. I'm going to say it's springtime because it was ready, almost 60 degrees today in New Hampshire. That's right. The flowers were blooming. It was fantastic. So I want to welcome you guys. Tonight's a little bit different than what we've been doing. We're going to work on some DIY stuff, but I wanted to talk a little bit about some ideas. And before we get started, the reminders. I need reminders for me. So like and follow us on Instagram. Like and follow us on Facebook. If you follow us on Facebook, you get a notification when we go live. So, everybody's like, people send me messages. I forgot to set my alarm. I forgot to do this. It comes up. I hope it's going to be fun, Lori. I really do. And we also have a YouTube channel now. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's kind of fun. I pretend to know how that all works, but not so much. So just if you guys can subscribe, that would be awesome. I also want to remind any of my Floridian friends that on March 20th, there will be Treasure Coast Exotic Bird Club is having their 25th annual Exotic Bird Expo. It's this Sunday, and it's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It should be a lot of fun. I know they've got some great exhibitors, and they're really looking forward to this. They did it in person last year, but they're hoping it's going to be a really great event this year. So if you're in Florida, check it out. It's at the Martin County Fairgrounds. So, all right. Let's talk about, I need to pull something up here. Let's talk about some foraging ideas. So foraging has been a hot topic forever. I mean, if there's anybody out there that doesn't know what foraging is, it's making a search for food in the wild. And we talk about foraging all the time with our birds because we really want them to we want to try to elicit that natural behavior when they're in captivity, when they're in human care. So, oh, Frank, it's awesome. I'm so glad you're here so you can pass that on to your cousin. So we've got, when you talk about foraging, we're talking about trying to elicit very natural behaviors. Foraging is something that all animals do it. We do it when you open the fridge and you look in the fridge and you go, oh, I don't know what I want. When you go to the supermarket, you're foraging for certain items. We don't think of it that way because it's just second nature to us to do that kind of thing. But it's really a form of foraging. And it has become, I've been doing this for a lot of years, and it has become the hot topic. Everybody's like, "Oh, do you do this? Do you have foraging? Do you have your birds forage?" And the answer should be yes. It doesn't have to be all the time. I know there's a woman, her name is Amber. I don't know if Amber's on tonight. Amber is out on the West Coast. She works at Kiko's Toy Chest. And she has Phoenix, who is completely foraging for his food. And I'd say his, I think Phoenix is a he. Um, but it's really about how much can you offer in foraging. It's a great replacement for things like if you've got a bird that's over preening, if you've got a bird that's screaming, if you've got a bird that's showing aggressive tendencies, you can offer them foraging activities. And it's not, you may do away with some of that because your bird can't pluck and forage at the same time. And Melissa Davis, I know you do great foraging with Zorro. It's one of those. Melissa does a wonderful job offering things. And foraging can go from simple to very difficult. There are all those toys out there that are the big, acrylic toys that require the bird to do all kinds of things to get, a treat or to get a piece of food. And you can go to that end of the spectrum, or you can go to a bowl that has some wooden balls in it and some treats in the very bottom. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to go back to it doesn't have to be rocket surgery. It can be very basic. So, however you want to approach it. And the other thing about foraging that I want to stress to people is that you've got to kind of build up to it gradually. If you try to go to that, boom, I'm just going to go straight foraging. Some birds need to learn. Some birds need to be shown how to do this. So you want to think about what level your bird's at, if they've ever been offered foraging before, if they come from a situation, maybe it's a rescue and it's a rehomed bird, and they come from a situation where that wasn't an option for them. They were never asked to forage for anything. So you want to think about what's your bird's skill level, and you don't want to make it something that's aversive. You don't want to make it something that's not a pleasant experience. So there are so many different ways to do foraging. You can take I guarantee you, any of the toys you have at home right now can be turned into foraging toys. You can take your drill. You guys all have that drill. Take that drill holes, put little food items in wooden pieces. You can take, if you've got crinkle paper, I know you all have crinkle paper. Take crinkle paper and just put it in a bowl and put some treats in there, or you can have them forage for pellets as well. Foraging is not all about just the yummy fun stuff. Foraging can be just for this. If you're feeding pellets, it can be for the diet. If you're feeding fresh, you just have to make sure that it's not something that's going to get soggy. I wouldn't suggest doing any fresh items in paper, in any kind of paper. You don't want to mix that. You don't want to take the chance of any of the color coming off on there. So, but you can definitely offer foraging in a variety of ways. The bowl, foraging for favorites is another way to go at it. You can put a favorite food item in amongst some not so favorite items. And it might convince that bird that, okay, I'm going to try these. Maybe I'll eat them to get them out of the way. And that's a form of foraging. So you can go from that end. You can start increasing the difficulty. You start with that simple bowl. You take a piece of newsprint or a piece of, butcher paper, scrunch it up, put something inside it, put it in the bottom of the cage, put it on the cage bar, in between cage bars, put it on a perch. And foraging doesn't have to be offered in just one place. Foraging by nature is all over the place. It's our birds forage. They go from point A to point B looking for food on a daily basis. So you want to think about, how am I going to get the bird moving and get that interaction happening, get that foraging happening, move things around. Moving the bowl is a simple form of foraging that you can do without any extra effort. Um, Taking cups, the little condiment cups, putting things in those, putting a cover on it, and putting it. When you first start, if you've got a bird that's not a real experienced forager, you might want to show them, look, you take it and you say, okay, I'm putting this in here. And then they see you put it in there. And then the next time, maybe you don't show them that you put it in there. You just put the little cup in there. The next time you add the cover, maybe you put a little hole in the cover so they can see in. And you increase that way. Some birds, we talk about approximations. We talk about, I have a plan, I have a training plan, this is how it's going to go. Some birds need more steps, some birds need more easy foraging to build up to that more difficult level of foraging. So watch what your bird's doing. You don't want to frustrate, you want to stimulate. Okay. It's not like, oh, I want to make it as hard as I possibly can. I want to trick him. That's not the point. The point is more, you want to just keep them engaged, keep them doing something so that it's not, oh, the food's in the bowl. I go to the bowl, I eat, I'm done. Now what? Oh, wait, if they were foraging, it might take a little bit longer. It can prolong that feed time as well, which is a good thing. Okay. Because our birds aren't going and just, eating up everything they can and then stopping. They spend long periods of time out in the wild foraging for things. So a kernel or two of popcorn, and it's a great thing. Microwave. Oh, I love it. That's so simple, Lori. Very nice. Thank you. And it's a simple idea. And sometimes I think we overthink foraging. It's got to be a big project. It's got to be, oh, I've got to do a bunch of different things. I've got to make sure it's this, it's that. The only thing you have to make sure is that it's safe. So safety is one of the things that I like to talk about a lot, because there are a lot of opportunities out there for our birds that are not safe. There are some toys that you look at them and you go, not so sure about that. I don't know if that's going to work. And your bird best, so something that's safe for Mary's bird may not be safe for Susie's bird. And it's just because they're all very, very different. And when you're offering foraging, don't expect, because you have a particular species of bird, that they will be better at foraging than some other species. Or if your friend down the street has a green cheek conure. So, okay, she offers him this, this, and this, and he loves it and he does great at it and he's really a great forager. Well, maybe your green cheek conure needs a little bit more work. So they're individuals, and you want to approach foraging and offering foraging opportunities as individuals. If you've got a big flock, we talked to Catherine Bine last week from the Woodland Park Zoo. We talked to her about managing a flock and working on training with a flock. If you're doing foraging for a big group, again, it doesn't have to be anything difficult. It can be a wadded up piece of paper, and you can hand that out to a number of different birds fairly quickly. So, but safety is critical. You want to make sure there's nothing that they're going to get caught on. You want to make sure that there's nothing that they're going to ingest that they're not supposed to. And that's something really important. If you offer a foraging opportunity and it's got non-food items involved, you want to make sure that it's not something that they might ingest. And if you have that concern, when they're finished with a foraging activity, make sure all the pieces to the toy or the device itself are still there. Okay. That's, it's all about that observation piece. It's making sure that, okay, I put this in here. He got the nut out. He got the, treat out, and it was fine. He didn't eat the container. I mean, that's what you really want to think about. Another easy, breezy foraging opportunity: when you go to get coffee, ask them for a tray. Even if you have one, pretend like you're not coordinated enough to carry your coffee. I know before I had my first coffee, I'm not coordinated enough to carry one coffee. So ask for the coffee carriers that have the 4 holes. I'm looking around my office. And for those of you that don't know, we are moving. So my office is a lot more empty of fun stuff than it used to be. But the 4-cup carriers, grab one of those, you fold that in half, and you've got a foraging opportunity. Easy, so very simple. So if you guys have foraging ideas that you want, to share with other people, please put them in the comments and we can, they'll be on the page for a while. People can review those comments. Um, Putting skewers in different places, absolutely. I think it's great. And they not always in the same place, Julie. I think that's an important idea as well. Artichokes and squash with pine nuts and chopped stuffed into it. Artichokes. I mean, who doesn't love stuffed artichokes? Now think about that as a great foraging opportunity. You can just stuff it. It's a natural foraging item. Same with heads of lettuce, like romaine lettuce. You can stuff, or kale. You can stuff things down in there. And some of them, they're food themselves. So it's not, you don't have to even worry at all about, what you're offering or whether it's something that they can't ingest. It's important. If you go towards the all foraging route, if you start putting all their diet in foraging opportunities, just make sure that they're eating enough. Okay, that it's not just staying in the foraging opportunity. You don't want you because then you do need to worry about airborne, foodborne pathogens. So Megan, what can I do for foraging for my baby eclectus since she eats mostly fresh stuff? You can still offer that, Megan, in the little cups. You can offer the skewer with the cups on it. You can do that. You can put things in different places. Put whatever you're using as bowls. You can put those in different places around the cage. You can put them. You can take and affix a cup onto a swing or onto a perch. You can do it for the kayak too. Melissa, you got to love your kayaks. They are brilliant. So they do love to be put to work, and they will work for that. Melissa brings up a good point that kayaks are super smart. All of our birds, we're like parents, right? All of our kids are super smart. It doesn't matter. They just are. And so one of the things you want to think about is this isn't across the board. It's not that, anybody's smarter than anybody else. But it is important that you remember to provide it on a regular basis. It's not something that it's like, oh, I'll do this now. I'll do it, next month. I'll do it again. There's a thing called contra freeloading, and I know we've talked about it before on the live stream. Contra freeloading is that animals, given a choice between foraging and not foraging, or looking for food, making a search for food and not, would prefer to work for their food. So we make, we make things easy for our birds. There's nobody out there cutting up pieces of fruit, putting it right where they can find it. It's not like that in the wild. And I know that our birds are not, most of them at this point are not wild caught birds, but they still have that built into them. And so you're doing a service for your animal by providing foraging opportunities. So that contra freeloading, all animals prefer to work for their food given a choice. Okay. All right. So I just need to look at the comments real quick. And Nick's been great putting them up. If I don't answer your comment, I will at a later date. In a later date, I will later on. Watch your bird as it plays to make sure it doesn't adjust. Yep. It's really important that they're not ingesting that foam stuff. I know a lot of toys have it on them, and I know Melissa, in fact, makes toys with it on it. And as long as your bird's not ingesting it, it's safe, and you keep your eye on it, and pieces aren't missing. Then it's still safe. I mean, and again, it differs from bird to bird, from home to home. So, all right, Nick, I need a little magic to happen here. We're going to take a look at the toys. Okay, so finished product is this. Let me see if I can do this right. Oh, look at me. It's got a place to put things in here. Excuse me. And it hangs like this. Okay. And then we've got a foot toy. We've got a butterfly foot toy or a dragonfly, depending on what you like, whatever makes you comfortable. All right, so let's get started. Nancy's ready to get started, she says. The first step, and hopefully this will work. Look at that magic, right? We're going to take the 2 seagrass mats that we've got here and put them, make a T out of them. So the first thing you want to do is take your string or your leather strap, put it through the, I'm confused. There we go. Nick's like, I can't keep up with you. Put it through the center hole in the top upright of the T. And then you want to go through the middle hole of the sideways one. Okay. And then you're going to tie a knot. And Nick, if anybody has questions or needs me to stop and explain something, if you could put them up, that would be great. Working with multiple cameras is not my strong point. So we've got that knot made. You guys can see that there? There we go. There. Okay. All right. And then these are my weapon of choice. Love these. You can change out the anvil and you can change out the blade. So you want to cut right there. Now you've got, it looks like a T. All right. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to fold this up to here. Okay. So now you've made, I don't know what letter this is, but you're going to take your leather. You're going to go count up 2, 1, 2. You're going to go through that one. Okay. So you see what we've done there? You're going to take your side piece, fold it up, and go through the first one, or you can go through the second one. Okay. So now tie that there. Okay. Now you've made this little kind of attached basket. It's so funny for me to tell you guys blow by blow how this is being done. This tool, it's a good question, Julie. I don't know the name of it. I call them my clippers. Let's see. It says on here, they're Craftsman. They don't have a name on them. Let's see. It says it has a sharp edge, so be careful. They are a Craftsman tool, Julie. I'm sorry I don't have the right name for them, but I can find out for you. All right, so then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to go through the second one, and then we're going to go through the first one, and we're going to tie a knot here. So yeah, to do them step by step with you guys is really weird for me because honestly, I'm so used to just doing it and not explaining to anyone. Okay, so now you've got this shape. There we go. Okay, so then you take your long side and you fold it up. So now, there we go. You should have what looks like, I don't know, a chair, sort of. And then you're going to go through the top of your side. Can you guys see that? If you go through the top of your side here, and then make a knot to hold the top of your chair up. And the thing is, it doesn't have to look pretty. We like them when they come out pretty, but if you guys are making toys at home, they don't have to be beautiful. And I forgot to mention too, that if anybody purchased the Treasure Coast toy chest, it is the same basic shape and the same body style. It's just got different decorations. Okay, so now you've got your side piece here. It should look like that. Okay. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So when you look at it from the back, go straight across in a line from where this was the first knot was, and go through this way. It's not easy, see? And this is why when you grow up, you guys don't want to be toy makers. I'm just saying. But yeah, I used to have nails. Anybody that's ever met me in person? Yeah, my hands didn't always look like this. But COVID has made me a lower maintenance girl. So, all right, here's what we've got. Should be tied here and here on the back, here, here, and here on the bottom. Okay. All right. See, if you guys were with me, I would know that we're all on board. Let me see. Anybody got any complaints? Nick, any problems going on out there? Anybody that needs like a little bit more time, you can watch this again once we're done. But if you need more time now, just let me know. Or if you need further explanation, let me know. All right. Let's see. You got to talk about winning Mega Millions, and you're gonna buy a parrot food with it. You could sponsor some leather elves. There's an internship. Anybody want to be a leather elves intern? All right. So now you've got your chair. Let's call it a chair. It's really a basket, but we're going to call it a chair. That's right. You should have fun, Lori. And honestly, I love what I do. And I think it doesn't have to be perfect. The toys that we sell, we try to get them as perfect as we can. But for you guys making toys for your birds at home, make them fun, make them interactive. Have your bird with you when you're doing this kind of thing. So, all right, we've got your chair. We're going to go through that top hole and we're going to tie a knot. So you can hang this. You can also put it down on the bottom. If you've got a bird that's more inclined to be down on the bottom of the cage, you can put it down in the corner on the bottom. All right, so here's this knot. I'm going to show you how to do this. You take it, you cross over. I feel like I'm teaching my kids how to tie shoes. You go back up through. You got this knot here. Can you see that? Down and through. And it comes out like that. I'm sure there's a Boy Scout name for that. If anybody knows that, let me know. All right. Another thing, let's see. Oh, good. Okay. Thank you, Trina. I appreciate it. Another thing I wanted to mention was you can get the kits from us, but if you want to kind of DIY it further, you can go to mysafebirdstore.com. They have a lot of these parts. I'm not sure they have all of them, but they have a lot of them. And then you can also go to makeyourownbirdtoys.com. They have a lot of their parts. So, all right, so we've got our basket made, right? We're going to put that aside. And next, we're going to work on the flower. Okay, pretty simple. Actually, take your basket back. I lied. I know you didn't know you'd ever have me invent that. If I had you wouldn't get it finished. I know, but see, that's part of the fun, Janice. Letting them just kind of experiment. All right, so you can cut the string as long as you want. Because I've been doing this for so long, it kind of just comes naturally for me. If my suggestion to you guys, if this is like your first or second time making bird toys or trying out something new, don't cut the string before you just use a whole piece. And it's a little bit harder to pull it all the way through, but you kind of don't want to come up short. So we're going to take our basket and we're going to go through one of the center holes and then come back out the one right next to it. This is Basket Weaving 101. I knew that course I took in college would be useful someday. All right. And you're going to make a knot. So what you've got here, you see this? It's just simple. You've got a knot on the inside. My dragonfly tried to fly away. And then you've got a knot on the outside. Next thing you want to do is you have 5 pieces of sola in your kits. These are dyed. They also come in white. And you can either use them plain, you can dye them. I dyed them just for the fun of, the spring theme, but they are fine white. And honestly, I have people say to me, my bird will only eat or only play with blue toys. Okay, if that's what you want to go with, that's fine. Our birds see a different spectrum of color than we do. So who knows what they're really seeing? So you make it what works for you and works for your bird and what your bird seems to respond to. Okay, so then we're going to take the solo pieces. There's a hole in the end, not the hole in the middle. There's a little hole in the middle. But take them and string them through, all 5 of them. One, I feel like I'm teaching kindergarten again. 2, 3. I'll be the count. There we go. You guys remember the count? 3, 4, 5. There we go. So you have what sort of resembles a flower, right? And then we're going to take, you also got 2 wheels in your kit. This is a 1-inch wheel with a 1/4-inch hole. You're going to take the wheel, slide the wheel on, and then tie a knot. Yes, you can do this if you don't have the basket done, Bonnie. What I would suggest, I don't have another mat. Just take your mat. So if you look at the way the mat goes around here, this is right in the middle of the mat. So you just take it and tie it onto the middle of the mat. And it's either way, whatever works for you, whatever's easier for you. You can put it on after the basket is put together, or you can put it on before. Okay. All right. So now we've got a flower on our basket. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to hold it up here. We're going to do this little flower that's on the top. And see, here's the thing. This is a DIY yourself. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I do it. It doesn't have to be on the same side as where I do it. It can be however you want it to look. Okay. Well, see, you couldn't have screwed up. It is springy. That's what we were going for, Julie. All right. So now you've got you can take another strip of leather. You guys should have more than enough leather if you got the kit. It came with like 5 36-inch pieces, and you should have more than enough. If you don't, just let me know, because yeah, we aim to please here at the Leather Elves. So the next thing you're going to do, I'm going to put it in the upper corner here. So take, and this, Bonnie, you can also do this if your basket's not together. And I see Melissa's basket isn't together either, and that's okay. And honestly, guys, if the basket never comes together, that's okay, because you can hang the seagrass mat with the stuff on it. And you can put things in between the holes. So it's not a crisis if this doesn't work out for you. But we can make it work. And if you have questions, you can message me, or just put a question in the comment, and I go through all the comments afterwards, and I can, answer that for you. So you've got a knot now in the corner. You're going to take your 2 stars. They may not be the same colors. I think they all are, though. And slide it through the middle, right there. Slide it down. And then you can take the other star. See, it's not always easy. And you thought this toy making stuff was always fun, that I had the dream job, didn't you? And then you're going to put that through so now you've got one on top of the other. For those of you that are new with us, we make all of the toys to order on the Leather Elves. We don't have a big warehouse. If you order something, I have to make it, and my husband has to cut the pieces for me. And dye them and drill them. I should give him more credit. You guys, if you see Mark, just tell him that I gave him credit on the live stream. Let's see. So cut there, and look, you've got a little flower on the top of your basket. All right. So how are we doing? I'm going to look at comments here. Let's see. Exactly, Frank. 4 years of college. My dad was so proud of me. Okay, so Melissa, did you find out the step that you missed? I hope you figured it out. Okay, so we've got our basket. I know you guys love me for sending you all this crinkle paper in your kit. Those of you that missed out on Christmas with the crinkle paper, now you've got extra crinkle paper from spring. You want to just take the crinkle paper, stuff it down inside. And you don't have to use all of it. You can use some of it. You can use all of it. It can come out the bottom on the sides. It's perfectly okay. There's no right or wrong way to put the crinkle paper in. There is no science involved. So every other time I tell you, oh, it's great. You know, you got to have science. You got to back things up with science. This is the one time that I'm going to tell you in the bird world, you don't have to back it up with science. There is no right or wrong way. There's probably a study somewhere for how to put crinkle paper in, but don't worry about it. All right, so we've got our basket. I'm going to put the basket to the side now. All right. The dragonfly or the butterfly, however you choose to call it. It could be a whatever fly. It's up to you guys. So this is pretty basic. You're going to take all right, Kim, you got 2 kits, one for practice and one for Beaky Perfect. Is there such a thing as Beaky Perfect? I don't know. All right, so take your string, put a knot at the end. See, this is the thing. I can talk and make toys at the same time. It's like walking and chewing gum for me. I can do both. All right. And then you take your finger trap, which is, you will note, has a wooden bat inside. It's for stability. If the bat is not already inside, you want a chew fly. Oh, Kimberly, I think you just named our latest foot toy. Nice job. So you slip the end that you didn't put the knot in through the hole in the bat and the finger trap. Okay. So we're like this, pull it through. Okay. Then you're going to take, these are called pradip leaves, okay, or husks, covers, and they are an all natural product. So you want to take, so that the rounded side, the lighter colored side is on the outside, okay? So you're going to go up through the bottom hole like that. There we go. And then you're going to take your other one, do the same thing. And now you've got them settled, seated in between each other like that. You're going to tie a knot. And you don't have to, if it's not tight enough, you can take it apart and do it again. So there you've got that like that. Okay. And then if you had extra parts, if you had extra balls or wheels, or I might even put another solid piece on here, you could tie something right here. But we're going to go with what you've got in the kit for now. And then you're going to, I took a longer piece because that one's not long enough. I want to make sure I have enough. You're going to go through here and tie a knot on the inside. So this is on the lighter colored side of your wing, okay? And then you also got these little beads. Pull it down, tie a knot. Just so you guys know, all the leather is vegetable tanned leather. Be careful if you buy your leather from like a craft store or anything like that. Make sure that it says it's vegetable tanned on it. Otherwise, it's a chemical process and it's really, really not safe for your birds. We have a, you know, we do sell leather, but you can get leather. Just please, wherever you decide to get it, make sure that it's vegetable tanned. So then we're going to do the same thing on the other wing. And then we come through this way. Oops. There we go. And now you have your chew fly. And so we've created 2 foraging opportunities tonight. We have this one. You can take and you can stuff things inside here. The easiest way, just so you guys know, to I've shown them, man. I message. Look, bird toy making is not a clean sport. Just saying. An Olympic sport. We need to come up with bird toy making. There's unicorns involved. Yay. Oh, look, they can fly with them. Thank you, Nick, for that unicorn. It made me smile. So the easiest way to fill a finger trap is to push it together. The hole gets bigger. And then when you pull it, it closes around it and will hold whatever you put in there. I would suggest, so you've got a little bit of space in here where the bat, until the bat starts. I would suggest putting something in this end. There's a little tiny bit. You could also add a food item to the wing if you wanted to put a little bit longer piece of leather on it. You could add a, maybe a piece of dried fruit, something like that. And you could definitely put that on the end here. Do I ever have blood spotted toys? Yeah, I do. It's not always the safest sport. Only usually when Mark's sawing or drilling things. He's the one that has more of that type of incident than I do. So that's one foraging opportunity. And then with your basket, you can put things down inside the basket. You can put things hanging out the side of the basket. The nice thing about the seagrass, I love seagrass mats. They're one of my favorite things. With the seagrass mat, you can add all kinds of things. I brought in the same amount of leather that went out in every kit. I have this much leather left. Okay. So what I would suggest is you guys know you have some wooden pieces somewhere around the house, because you're not going to kid me and tell me that as bird owners that you don't have some random pieces of dyed wood, undyed wood, cut shapes, things like that. When you cut yourself on wire, there is usually blood involved, Melissa. So then just take your leather, stick it through one of the side holes, and hang things off of this. One of my favorite things to do is to buy a toy at a store, not my toy, just any toy, and see how you can enhance it. See how you can make it evolve so it's more intricate for your bird, so that it's got more going on. It's, let's be honest, there are only so many ways you can hang wood on chain or leather, right? Thank you, Lori. And so try to be creative. Take and add new dimensions to things. Maybe you put a cinnamon stick down inside here. Okay. You put that cinnamon stick down inside. Now you've enhanced, it's an olfactory opportunity. It's a foraging toy. It's an olfactory opportunity. The colors make it a visual enrichment opportunity. You put a food item in there and now it's dietary enrichment. You've covered all those bases. Absolutely remake your toys, Kimberly. People say to me, "Oh, I threw them away." You do what? My favorite is people who throw these away. Yeah. I've known people to throw these away. Please. It's just, do you really want to go out there and spend extra money on quick links? No, I'm hoping you don't. And if you do, you should just send it to the Robin Sullivan Fund, because you've got money to burn. So hanging different, you can hang an indestructible bell on the bottom of the basket. You can add, so now Lori has now added an auditory. So we've got one device that we made in about a half an hour. And as you get better at toy making, you could make this toy in about 10 to 15 minutes if you had all your parts dyed and, cut and in one place. And we've taken it from foraging, which is just a dietary option. So you've got dietary. Let's talk about the categories. You've got dietary, you've got visual because it's pretty. Okay. I'll hold it up here. There we go. So you've got dietary, but for whatever you put inside it, any edible item. You've got visual because of the color. You've got um, olfactory. If you add cinnamon or a basil, you put some basil on here. You've got auditory with the bell. If you hang it, you've got some exercise going on because you're going to promise me that you're not going to hang it right up against the side of the cage. You're going to hang it in the middle so that your bird has to hang on it to get to it. Okay. And then, so we've got dietary, visual, olfactory, auditory, exercise, social, you can repurpose and reuse. Absolutely. But social, you can use this to interact with your bird. You can show them, look, I'm putting this in here. You can, talk to them. You can work on color. I've been talking to some people about, color recognition. You can talk about, learning different parts of it, having your bird go to different parts of it for training. Touch the flower, and when they touch the flower, they get a good and they get a treat. So toys are not just things to hang. They're not just things to go and buy and hang in the cage or on the play stand. There's so much more to be done, and so much more that can be done with what you've made and what you buy. And just think about different ways to change it up a little bit. And if your bird has a favorite, so I think we get stuck in this. So you go to the store, you find the best toy ever, and your bird loves it. Okay, you bring it home. It's the best thing that you've ever found, and they go through it. It's gone. Okay, and which is good. We want that to happen, but you go buy another one, and they go through that one, and you go buy another one, and they go through that one. Eventually, the novelty is going to wear off. And so if you can just change it up a little bit, add something new to it, add, a different, or place it in a different place. Sometimes it's just about where you place a toy. Sometimes it's just about how you hang it. Maybe you'd put it on the bottom of the cage. It depends on where your bird prefers to interact with its enrichment. So it would work for small to medium birds. I think, it really, it could be, you could even, if you had a big bird that was not, not super hard on toys, you could, because we do have those dainty macaws out there. There are some. And I know that Frank is laughing right now. Dainty macaws, dainty twos. We know that they do exist. They're rare, but they do exist. And sometimes it's just about, getting that food item out. It may be the shock and awe and destruction, but it may not be. It may just be that finesse of getting something out of a toy, out of a foraging device that you want to think about. You're right, Kim. Royal Avian does have amazing bells. You guys should check out Royal Avian. They also they just opened a store, Royal Avian Plus. So shout out to Michelle Carollo and Tyler May for opening their new store. They had a grand opening on March 5th, I believe. So if you're in the Louisiana area, down in Louisiana, you want to go check it out. They are some ladies that know their bird stuff, and they do have great bells. You're absolutely right. And Iris, yes, there are dainty ones. There definitely are. And or maybe dainty is not the word. We'll have to come up with a better birds with finesse, maybe, that are willing to kind of go for the detail. They're detail oriented parrots. Maybe we'll go with that. Is that better? Okay. Well, we'll think about that one. We'll work on that for next week. But do you guys have, if there are any questions out there? If you were following along and there was something that wasn't making sense, or that you needed a little bit more time on, please let me know. And I am more than happy to kind of fill in those blanks for you, in between, after the live stream, or maybe not tonight, but in the next couple of days, whatever. If you want to ask questions, feel free. The kits are still available. We've got them on our site. And like I said, the parts are available at, I know some of the parts at Make Your Own. So you've got a picture right there. Some of them are available at Make Your Own Bird Toys.com. There you go. Thank you, Nick. MySafeBirdStore.com and MakeYourOwnBirdToys.com. Both great sites. And the safety piece. I know both of those sites really are conscientious about the parts that they sell and the products that they sell, that they are safe for birds. And we, at the Leather Elves, we really try to make sure that everything that goes into our toys, whether it's the leather or the wood, the pieces, that it is all safe, because that's, we really want to enhance their lives, not cause any issues. So, excuse me. Bonnie's asking, when will the video be available for replay? It just needs to be made magical by Nick, and it will be up shortly after the broadcast. If you need to follow along with it again, that's great. I would suggest turning off the sound, Bonnie, so that you don't have to listen to me again. But it'll be up there. It'll be archived forever. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. You can either post them now or afterwards. And I just wanted to let you all know that next week I have a special guest. It's someone who is near and dear to my heart. And it's true. Nick does so much work, Lori, behind the scenes. And I do appreciate him very much. And I don't know that I thank him often enough. But next week, a dear friend of mine who I have worked with for many, many years, Helen Dishaw from Tracy Aviary, will be joining us next Friday night, same time, same bet channel, 7 p.m. Eastern. And Helen is, she's an incredible bird trainer. She also does really wonderful enrichment. And she's very creative and very species aware, like what different birds need. It's a pleasure to work with her on enrichment. So one of the things, if you want to check out Helen before next week, you should go to the Andy N Condor, like Andy, like Raggedy Ann and Andy, N, the letter Condor on Facebook. And Helen is Andy's primary handler at the Tracy Aviary. So Helen will be joining us next week. And it's always a pleasure. This has been fun, getting to show you guys what I do on a daily basis. And thank you again for joining us. And I will see you all next Friday on Friday Night Flock Talk. Take care and have a wonderful week.